Welcome to day 9 of positioning ourselves for our best year yet and unlocking the keys to our success. And if you've been enjoying the journey thus far, go ahead and press subscribe. And today we're going to be talking about discovering your purpose. Because if we're going to be positioned for our best year yet, we have to discover our purpose. We have to know why we were created, why we're here on this earth. And it's for a unique reason. And purpose can be defined simply as doing the things that you've been designed and created to do. And the creator is God. He handcrafted you in his image and in his likeness with unique gifts, talents, and abilities. And your purpose is your unique contribution that you're supposed to make here on this earth. So 5 things to discovering your purpose. Number 1 is that God created and designed you with many gifts and talents. So we have to tap into the creator, the person that ultimately made us, to truly know what he designed and created us to ultimately do. The gifts, the talents, the abilities, the passions that he's designed us with. We got to tap into him to truly understand why we're here. And Ephesians 2:10 tells us, "For we are his workmanship, created in Christ Jesus for good works, which God prepared beforehand that we should walk in them." So if we want to know why we are here on this earth, the things that we're supposed to be doing this year and this season, we got to tap into him. And the second thing, you have to identify your why. You have to know why you were created, why you want what you want, why you're presently doing what you're doing, and why behind what you're seeking to do. So if you're presently doing something, if you're presently at a job, whatever you're doing in life, why? Why are you doing it? What's the reason? Is it to provide for your family? Is it to bring honor to God? Is it because I just want to make a lot of money? Why do you want what you want? You must even have a why behind walking in your purpose. Why do you want to walk in your purpose? God wants it for you. He designed you with unique gifts, skills, talents, and abilities and passions. But the question is, why do you want it? Or why do you want to tap into it? Because your why is the reason that you seek change and or become better. Your why is the reason that you lock in and you make a commitment. So God created us with many talents, gifts, and abilities for a specific purpose and to make the world a better place. But we have to decide, why do I want to tap in? Or what's going to make me tap into it? Because not everybody decides to tap in. Why is that? So you got to identify the why for you. Number 3, identify your gifts and your talents and your unique abilities. So God uniquely created you with gifts and talents to do great things. And to have everything that God intends for us this year, we must first identify our gifts and then seek to understand our purpose so that we can apply those gifts to fulfill our purpose. When it comes to our gifts and our talents, these are things that we can naturally do well and even do better than most others. Your gifts and your talents can also be connected to your passions. These are the things that you enjoy doing. These are the things that If money was no object, you would do them because you just enjoy doing them, whether you're paid or not paid. Those are your passions. And here's what God tells us about our gifts. Proverbs 3:16 tells us, a man's gift makes room for him and brings him before great men. So your gift will make room for you and bring you before great people. 1 Peter 4:10 tells us, as each has received a gift, use it to serve one another as good stewards of God's varied grace. So understand that each of us has a gift. So everybody has a gift. Nobody was created without a gift. And each of us has a purpose beyond just ourselves. It's to help make the world a better place. And so when we understand that we were created for a specific purpose, we can't try to live out other people's purpose in our lives. You can't live out other people's dreams, other people's vision, other people's plans for you that are not the plans that God has for you, and then be able to find fulfillment, satisfaction, and to be able to maximize your purpose and your potential. You can only maximize your purpose and your potential by knowing and understand why you were created, and then doing the things that you were created to do. Not what you see on Instagram, not what you see everybody else doing, not what you see the next person doing, but the things that he called and he created you to do. And when you do the things that he designed and created you to do, he creates doors, opens doors that no man can shut. And he elevates you and positions you in places that you can't get by your own doing. He puts you in places before kings and before great men and women. So when you also understand that you were created again with a unique purpose, you have to be original. Be authentic and be you. The things that make you different, those are the things that you want to embrace. Your uniqueness, embrace. The things that make you different are the things that ultimately you should further cultivate and tap into. Don't conform to the things that set you apart, because you've been designed and created to be set apart, because he created you different from anyone else. So embrace it. So the next thing in discovering our purpose is understanding that God can use past experiences to birth purpose in your life. God allows you to go through certain things to give birth to a purpose. Your purpose can be derived from past experiences that you've experienced that have had a profound impact on you, whether it was positive or whether it was a negative situation. Your purpose can also be derived from voids in your life. So if you're someone who never had a dad growing up, or you're someone who came from an abusive home, an abusive family, those things may have impacted you to the point where it's your mission, it's your purpose to start an organization or a youth group that's geared towards teaching young men how to do certain things. It's filling the voids that you didn't have. That pain that you didn't get can be the birth of something to help someone else. And so you think about things like cancer organizations, certain substance abuse or addiction organizations. Those things are birthed out of what? Pain. Someone lost a family member to cancer. So we have these cancer organizations to do what? Help us to figure out a solution, to be an advocate, to make sure that the next person doesn't have to suffer, so on and so forth. And also, your positive experiences can also lead to, again, the birth of your purpose. So if you've been blessed to experience, let's just say, a two-parent household that provided you with values and a strong foundation, such as myself, well, I'm passionate about making sure that people that don't come from maybe two-parent households or didn't have people in their lives that trained them and taught them in the way that they should go, well, I'm passionate about sowing into other people because I knew that I was blessed and how it impacted me. And because I can see certain voids or certain things that others didn't get. And so my experiences can help birth, a positive experience as well, can help birth my purpose. And the fifth thing in discovering our purpose is something called unique discontentment. And I learned this concept in the book, Your Purpose is Calling by Dr. Darius Daniels. And he introduces this concept of unique discontentment. And this is when you get really agitated by things happening in the world around you, not necessarily your quirks and your preferences, such as I don't like the way this person is smacking their food or chewing, their food. But it's the agitation of issues that you see that are happening, whether it's within families, it's within schools, it's in social media, with the elderly in the medical field, the judicial system, education system, whether it's a lack of access to resources, whether it's certain disparities, whether it's inequalities, whether there's a lack of variety when it comes to access to different types of cuisines. It's these types of issues. And when these problems agitate you to the point where it doesn't just go away, and instead of fading over time, these things continue to annoy you and they start to drive you crazy, more than likely, these are the problems that you were designed to help solve. So your purpose can also come from your unique discontentment. And I believe that unique discontentment can come from things as well that have happened in our lives. The good things, the bad things, and the voids that have taken place in our lives. And you can often tell when you're being confronted with your unique discontentment because specific situations bother you more than they bother the people that are around you. You can't ignore what's happening, even though it's not that big of a deal to the next person. So when you tell certain people certain things, hey, I really hate that minority communities are not getting the resources to be able to start a business, to be able to grow in scale. Or you tell someone, single widows, there's no one that's really caring for them. There's not many programs that are available to them, and they have to start over by themselves. And then if the next person just says, yeah, that's right, but don't waste your time putting too much energy into it. It's just a universal, widespread problem. But you're most passionate about it and it really annoys you. Those things are your unique discontentment. And again, those are the things that you may be created to help solve. So, our action items to help us discover our purpose so that we know exactly why we were created, why we want what we want, to be able to identify our gifts, talents, and abilities, how to use or how to view our past experiences to birth purpose, and how to identify our unique discontentment to birth purpose in our lives. So action item number 1, seek to understand your purpose by spending time with the person that created and designed you, and be intentional about it. It can't be a one-time thing. Lord, help me to understand what you would have me to do in this season. Help me to understand my unique gifts, talents, and abilities. Help me to understand, how you've allowed certain things to happen in my life, to use them for the good and the betterment of not just myself, but for others. And that can't just be a one time a month type of thing. You got to be intentional about discovering your purpose, understanding why you were created. Because success, at least to me, it's identifying why you were designed and created, and walking and thriving in doing the things that you've been called and created to do. And that's when you have true success and true fulfillment. Number 2, identify your why. Number 3, ask yourself, what are the things that you're most passionate about, and what motivates and inspires you? Write it down. 4, write down the answers to these questions. What are the key characteristics that make up myself? What can I achieve, or what do I achieve or accomplish at a higher level than most? What do I do better than most? What's naturally easy to me that other people may struggle with? And what are the main experiences that have shaped my life thus far? The next set of questions you want to ask yourself is, what are some incidents that have made me feel upset in the recent months? What are some injustices, some inequities, or inequalities that make me feel angry? What kind of needs grab your attention the most? And what issues or circumstances seem to keep bothering me that don't bother others? And number 5, do it. Put in the work. Let's execute. So if we want to position ourselves for the best year yet, I believe it's critical, it's essential that we identify and discover our purpose. What God has planned for us to do here on this earth and here in this season. Be intentional about discovering your purpose. And there's 2 resources I also want to share with you when it comes to further diving into your purpose. One is a book by myself, Howard Austin II, Winning Living Your Best Life. And another is a book by Dr. Darius Daniels, Your Purpose is Calling. Both of those books are great tools to help you further drill down on discovering your purpose. And so if you've enjoyed this video, all I ask is 2 things. 1, subscribe, and 2, share it with someone else.